right, let's talk about something that drives a lot of us absolutely crazy. You look at your bank account and wonder, where did all my money actually go? Today, we're going to expose the things we all buy, things that used to be smart, or at least normal, that have become total financial traps in today's world. Let's get right into it. You know the feeling, right? The paycheck hits, you pay your bills, you're not out there popping champagne every night, but somehow at the end of the month, you're back to zero. You're just barely scraping by. And you look around and you can't help but wonder, what am I doing wrong? Well, here's the thing. You're probably not actually bad with money. You're just playing a game where the rules have changed, but nobody handed you the new rulebook. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about the money game you might not even realize you're losing. Then we'll hit the purchases that look smart but really aren't. We'll find the slow leaks in your budget and then tackle the big lifestyle traps we all fall into. And stick around, because at the end, we'll talk about how you can actually reclaim your financial future. Look, the world is moving at warp speed, but so many of us are using a financial playbook from like 10 years ago. Things that were a good deal back then are now total ripoffs, and strategies that used to build wealth can now just dig you into a deeper hole. You have to see the game for what it is today. It really all boils down to this. Every single dollar you have goes into one of three buckets. The first bucket is for dollars that go out and make more dollars, investments. The second bucket is for dollars that provide real value, like your rent and your groceries. But it's that third bucket, that's the killer. That's where your money just vanishes, spent on stuff with zero return. And that's where most people get wiped out. Okay, so let's start with the sneakiest traps out there. These are the things we buy because we think we're being responsible, we think we're being savvy investors, when really we're just setting our money on fire. Let's pull back the curtain on the extended warranty. They sell it to you as peace of mind, but really, it's just a cash machine for the retailer. The math is insane. For every $100 you spend, only about $12 actually goes to fixing anything. The other $88, that's pure profit for them. They are designed not to pay out, and they cost the average person $500 to $1,000 a year for nothing. This is so important. We all see it, right? The meme stocks, the crypto coin that's going to the moon. It's so tempting to jump in. But if you don't understand what you're buying, you're not an investor, you're a gambler. And I've seen it happen. People lose years of hard-earned savings, tens of thousands of dollars, just chasing a hot tip they saw online. Your knowledge is the only thing protecting your money. We were all told that a college degree is the golden ticket, a guaranteed investment. But you have to look at the cold, hard math. If you take out a $40,000 loan for a degree that only gets you a $35,000 a year job, well, you didn't get an investment. You got a financial death sentence. You're starting your career in a hole so deep you might never climb out. All right. Now for the silent killers. These aren't the big dramatic purchases. Nope. These are the little leaks, the ones you barely even notice, that are slowly sinking your financial ship day after day. This one is just painful because the fix is so easy. Insurance companies are banking on the fact that you're too busy or too lazy to shop around. So every year they just nudge your rate up a little bit, counting on you to just auto-renew. But seriously, 30 minutes, just 30 minutes of comparing rates online can save you hundreds, maybe even $1,000 a year. That's free money you're leaving on the table. Oh, the bulk buying trap. It feels so smart, so responsible. But here's the reality. The average family throws out 20% of the food they buy. So when you buy that giant clamshell of spinach to save 50 cents but end up throwing half of it out because it went bad, you didn't save anything. You just wasted money on a bigger scale. That $10 lunch, that daily latte, it feels like nothing, right? It's just $10. But let's do the math. A single $10 a day habit costs you over $3,600 a year. And that's just the cash you spend. It doesn't even count the opportunity cost. What that money could have become if you'd invested it instead. You're literally trading long-term wealth for a few minutes of convenience. And finally, let's get to the big ones, the lifestyle traps, the things we do because, well, because that's just what people do. It's normal, but the cost of normal has gotten way too high.
Remember when Airbnb was the cool, cheap alternative to a hotel? Yeah, those days are long gone. You see a room for $150, which sounds great, but then they tack on a $75 cleaning fee, a $30 service fee, and suddenly you're paying more than you would for a hotel. And the best part? They still give you a list of chores to do before you leave. You're paying more for less service. It makes no sense.
The sale rack is a psychological battlefield, and you're set up to lose. That big red 50% off sign literally short circuits the rational part of your brain. You're not thinking, do I need this? You're thinking, I'm saving so much money. But you're not saving $35. You're spending $35 on something you probably didn't even want 5 minutes ago.
This is the perfect description for giving gifts you feel obligated to buy. Think about it. We spend hundreds of dollars every year buying things for people who don't really want them out of some weird social pressure. And they turn around and do the exact same thing for us. It's a bizarre ritual where nobody wins except the department stores.
Okay, this is the big one. This is probably the number one wealth killer for millions of people. The old rule was simple. Don't spend more than 30% of your income on housing. But today, it's totally normal for people to spend 40, 50, sometimes 60%. When that much of your money is gone before you even buy food, it's over. There's nothing left to save, nothing to invest, nothing to build a future with. You're just working to pay the landlord. So, that was a lot of bad news. But here's the good news. Now that you can see the traps, you can avoid them. The real power isn't just knowing this stuff. It's about taking action and finally telling your money exactly where you want it to go. So here's the new game plan. It's about switching from autopilot spending to intentional living. You take the money that was just vanishing into all these black holes and you actively redirect it. You point it toward what you actually want, paying off debt, building investments, building the life you actually want to live, not just the one you're stuck in.
And that's really the whole point, isn't it? The money you need to completely change your life isn't missing. It's already there. It's just being pointed in the wrong direction. You have it. The only question left is, now that you see the game, where are you going to tell your money to go?